Hey guys, Jason here. So I was in the middle of creating a spreadsheet for my Tilray wheel, and I decided to look for one online. I'm sure there's a ton of people running wheels. I know there's a ton of people running the wheel, and someone out there had to have created something that's going to look way better than what I could create and work just fine. So that's what I found, and this is it. So I want to share this with you, walk through what I like, a couple things I don't like, and just how to use it. Most of it's pretty intuitive and straightforward, but a couple things just took me a few minutes to figure out that didn't make sense initially. But first, credit where credit is due. This was put together by a username ndillon off of Reddit. So this is his spreadsheet. It says he's put it together from a lot of resources. But let's get right into taking a look at the spreadsheet. So the first thing I really like is that it pulls in the stock name and the price just by entering it. So you can see we can enter another one, enter Ford, and it'll pull in the stock price just like that. So we'll go back to Tilray, which this is what I am running right now. So just 3 weeks in, so not a whole lot to enter. But I knew, like right now, I know most of what's going on with it, but I know a few months down the road, I'll have no clue where I'm at profit-wise on this play. So I'd like to keep track of it. That way I can share it accurately and see what happens over the course of several months and who knows, maybe years. So as far as entering the information, all the information besides that little box up there that you're going to enter is all in the white. All the blue cells are calculated. So these three, profits calculated, and all of these are calculated. I did notice when I got it originally, this cell right here, if you want to make a quick modification, it was basically a copy and paste of this. So I just had to change this. This originally was calling in cell B25, and that's why the profit had matched this. But you just need to change it to B28, which was pretty obvious since we needed to use this number as far as calculating a percentage instead of the one above it. The only other thing that I changed, I believe, was this originally said buy or sell, and I just changed it to sell because I'm running the wheel, so all I'm going to do is sell. I actually probably could just get rid of that. Oh, but that screws everything up, so never mind. We're not going to do that. I don't think anything actually looks at this text, but there are probably... Oh, it does. Very cool. Okay, so it does actually look at some of the text. All right, so getting right into this. On Tilray, I'm opening every position on Monday and just opening it up for the week and letting it expire. So my first day, you can see I opened up June 14th. Expiration was that following Friday. They're puts because I was just starting off, so I had cash covered puts. They were a sell. Strike price $19. That Monday that I first opened it up, it dropped pretty rapidly, and so I sold another one at 18 and collected $50 premium for each one. So it calculates the credit here, so it's just the quantity times whatever you sold it at times 100. And then here is basically the result of what happened. Date closed for me is always going to be the same as expiration, and the first week I got both of those assigned to me, and I have no closing costs since I did not close those. I just let them expire and let the shares get assigned to me. And then so whatever credit I receive is going to be equal to my profit. If you happen to want to close it early or manage them a little bit closer, then you would put a closing cost in here. Maybe you close it for $5, and then it shows a debit there, and which obviously decreases your profit. But I didn't do that, and I'm not going to do that. And then moving on to the right side here, this is used for when you either get shares assigned to you or when you get shares called away from you. So currently I have the 200 shares that got assigned to me the first week, $19 and $18. So we have 200 shares total. Then it shows the invested amount. You're going to obviously have as much invested as whatever the strike price was times 100. So that's the cost of purchasing those shares that were assigned to you to purchase. So that's where we're at this first week. Second week, sold a call and a put. They both expired worthless, so nothing to report over on the stock information. It's just that additional premium. So second week we collected $87, and this being the third week, we sold, did kind of the same thing, sold 2 calls and a put, collected this premium, and then of course it's only Wednesday. We have 2 more days to go, and we'll see what happens. Kind of stock prices hovering, so could get assigned, could get shares called away, and we could just expire worthless again, but we'll find out. So moving on to the left column, you have the current stock price. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. It's whatever it closed at. And actually, I'm gonna pop over real quick just because I'm curious. Let's see, it closed at 1808 and it's currently 1809 after hours. So it does, okay, so it grabs it on close. Just in case you're curious, I was just curious. So it grabs it on close, not after hours, so I guess it won't be updated until the market actually opens in the morning. Not that it's important or you can do anything about it after hours. So total investment, that's what you paid for all your shares currently. So you can just see that's a total of the $1,900 and the $1,800 over here. Current value, that's the current value of the actual shares. So we paid $3,700 for the shares. It is down off that $18.50 price. So the current value is only $3,616. And then the original cost basis, that's the average of the shares that we got assigned to us. So you can see that's going to be, well, it wouldn't be 719, but let's say, no, it'd be 7.2. Let's say on 7.2 we got 100. Of course we'd fill it out more, but let's say we got them assigned to us because it fell below our put strike price. Then you can see it changes our original cost basis down a little bit just because it averages the shares there, share price. Adjusted cost basis, it's kind of funny because you kind of have to pick either profit or adjusted cost basis. So this is all the premium I've collected by selling calls or puts. That's how it's calculated, and then it was like basically if you didn't make profit, if you didn't count that as profit, then this would be pretty much what you paid for the share. So you can look at it that way, like, hey, I've sold so much premium in this position that these shares pretty much only cost me, under 17 bucks a piece because we've sold that much premium. However, if you look at it from that standpoint, then you don't get a look at it from like a profit standpoint. It's kind of one or the other. I mean, I suppose you can say your profit is the fact that it went down, but most of the time when we're running the wheel, I believe it is for profit, because these are generally, the wheel's going to be done on something that you, number one, you don't mind if shares are called away from you, because they probably will be, and you don't mind owning it. So the fact that it's not something you're passionate about, and you really want to collect them or build a position on, and something you don't mind, you don't mind losing, you don't mind owning, that to me just tells me it's a vehicle for creating profit. It's nothing else. You're not just trying to lower the cost basis of your shares, most likely. I mean, everybody has their reasons for doing things, but I think you could basically stop right here with the information. I think it's the only one. I think this may be kind of interesting. I don't think the adjusted cost basis is overall profit and the percentage of profit. So you can see, like, so far with our play, last 3 weeks it's up 6.51%. I think that's good info. Current stock profit, that's just, again, the difference between what we paid for them and the current value, which is down 2.27%. Not all that critical, because we're just using that stock to sell premium on, and that's pretty much it. That's the only reason we're owning it at this point. Wheel profit. I think this is more like premium. I don't know, collected. Oops. Nope, and then it's too big, right? Nope, it stays. Okay. And then it shows profit as premium collected, and I don't think that is valuable. Like, you don't care. Like, if you collected a whole bunch of premium, but all in all you're like super far, like if your profit was negative 2,000, then this number to me is not very important. But just so you know what it is, it's just total amount of premium collected, and I think that's more accurate, because this is not profit. Strike profit, which I think is kind of a silly one, that takes the last, like this last one that you entered, whatever the last position is, and basically says, okay, our cost basis is 1850. If it goes up to or above 1950 and you get the shares called away, what would your profit be on the actual shares? So maybe just a little bit better labeling there, but now I know what it is, and it's also at the same time not very important to me. And exercise profit, this is your total amount of profit that you would make, like the whole wheel together. If it goes above 1950, you get the shares called away from you, and then that's where it leaves you, like right at 1950 or above. That means like by Friday on July 2nd, if the stock closed at 1975, I would get the shares, these 200 shares, called away from me, and my overall profit at that point would be 525, because I was forced to sell those shares at 1950. And then the total contracts and current strike, that's really just showing you the kind of the last thing that you did. So it's always going to take this last line here and then just calculate it down here. So so if you have, like I do, where I've sold a put and a call on the same strike price, always enter the call on the lower level. Otherwise, if you have the put, let's see, if you have the put down here, it's going to just show you, what that one is, right? Your exercise profit, if it happens to drop down to 1750, and that strike profit, if I sold it 1750, then I'd be down $200. But it only really works with the call side, because I'm not getting rid of any shares there. I'm just down the $200 on these guys. So I don't think that's very valuable information at all. I think other than that, that's pretty much it. The only the things that I really don't like, I think for somebody who's intermediate, I think some of this could get confusing. Like if you're thinking you're running this wheel and you've made $241 and the shares have only cost you $16.88 somehow, then you feel like you're profiting on both ends. But in reality, the only important number is that $241 in my mind, and that number is really only important after positions are closed, as far as like where you're really at, because nothing really happens until you've closed whatever positions. So I think that pretty much wraps it up for this. I'll make sure I do leave a link in the description so you guys can download this if you want to use this for your own wheels. I think it's super handy to have, and I'm going to keep up on this one. I'll probably go over this from time to time just to see where we're at on our Tilray wheel. So, all right, guys. Hope you guys like it. Hope you use it. Any questions or interesting modifications? If you could think of anything, or you take a look at it and see any errors in there, it'll be interesting to see how it functions over time after shares are bought and sold, to see whether or not it's accurate. I haven't done that. Just basically like filled it out once, tried a couple different scenarios, just to see if I could catch any obvious errors. And those are the ones I shared with you. Are the only ones I saw was the one in this cell, and then a couple things that I think are completely unnecessary. So, all right, guys. Hope you guys have a great day. And again, let's make a lot of money.